I assume
That's
this
our new
is
baby.
I assume this you are quite proud of. Will you pronounce it for me?
Evija.
Evija.
Yeah.
I thought it was Evija. Okay, I'm off. Everyone's got to work on making their car names more pronounceable. Global trademarks are annoying. I get it. Right? Isn't that it?
Yeah, global trademarks are annoying, but yeah, Evija, we all had to practice a little bit, but we're there now.
What's it mean?
It's first of its kind, basically, and that's really important for us because this is our first EV car, our first electric car. But of course,
did you simplify and add lightness? I don't think so.
Well, it's very weight efficient, I think is what we'd say. So
give me the stats real quick.
So in European terms, it's 1,680 kilos, which is about 3,600 pounds.
Which for an EV is light, actually.
Yeah. And for EV sports cars, it's light. We've got equivalent of about 2,000 horsepower, which I think we would say makes the car quite nippy.
I always laugh when someone says some shit like 2,000. It's like 2,000 horsepower. Yeah. Is there a need for 2,000 horsepower? I mean, like, what human can handle such a thing?
I think it's like all sports cars. You don't justify them on rational reasons, do you?
I'm just hoping we don't see them wrapped around telephone poles.
There are, I don't know all the details because I'm not the technical guy, but there's different modes you can put it in, and that gives you access to different power.
I like the valet mode is probably like 1,000 horsepower.
Yeah, it starts off around about 400 or 500 horsepower, so I think that's probably more than enough, definitely for me. Very exciting project. To work on.
Tell me about the design, since this is your area of expertise. This sort of paperclip shape. That term does it a disservice, but when you look at it from a direct side profile, it's actually mildly paperclippy. But that's a beautiful shape of the air intake on the side. So tell me about this whole thing.
Well, you've used the phrase beautiful, and that's something we used and sort of winced a bit early on because you'd expect us to make cars that are beautiful, but it's really easy when you do something as extreme as this to get a little bit carried away and perhaps do something which is a little bit overly shouty or a bit crazy. We
look to our friends in Dubai. I almost just spilled water all over the table. Okay,
but so beautiful was one of the things, and then we obviously wanted this car to be very contemporary. We wanted to have unique features. We wanted to have the latest technology, which has got all over the place, and we wanted it to look like a Lotus. Now, there are certain shapes, forms, lines which make things Lotus, but there's also
this black canopy is extremely Evora-esque. Actually,
that's very Evora. Yeah,
like if we go look at that, here's the Evora, and here's the Evija. The shape is quite similar. That's Lotus. That's some Lotus there, right?
There you go. Yeah. And you'll notice the kind of haunch lines you get on the car, the way that the fender lines from front and rear go quite muscular. Because I like to do as though the cabin is sort of sunk between the wheels.
Right.
And then the shoulders on the car look very sort of muscular.
That you really get from this angle here.
Exactly, yeah.
This rear end, I think, from the front, it's a little more conventional. Supercar, but from the back it gets real crazy.
Well, the big story on the car is the aerodynamics. So aerodynamics are really important to Lotus. In the 50s, we were right at the front with. This is before my time.
Yeah.
With those
scaffold wings.
Well, they're the 60s, but 50s is all streamlining. The wings came in the 60s, ground effect in the 70s with the race car. But aerodynamics is really important. On a car like this, obviously, it's important. Reduce drag, you improve the top speed. You also improve the range of the car. And, of course, we want to create downforce. So, to start off with, I was in conversation with our aerodynamics guy, and we were talking about what they do on modern motorsport cars and how they manage the airflow through the car as well as over the exterior surfaces. And I said, could we do something like that? And he said, well, yeah, that's really good. He started using words like transparency and porosity, which basically he just wants the minimum blockage of the air. Keep the air moving fast, reduces drag. But we just thought from a design studio point of view, it's a really neat theme in terms of sculpture. It's almost like the car's being carved by air, which is perhaps a bit pretentious. But once you get into that mindset,
No, I get
everything is being smoothed, or a bit like, you see a river or an ocean will carve away the rock surfaces around it. And that gives you something very beautiful. It gives you something which has got motion when you're looking at it. Your eyes drawn through the car.
One of my favorite places is these swirled sandstone canyons in Utah, which are done from, millions of years of water and wind flowing through these places. And like Lower Antelope Canyon is a beautiful place like that. Same exact thing. I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question that other people will be asking? Did you design this vehicle before seeing the Ford GT?
No, I can't pretend that. We'd say the Ford GT.
But race cars have been doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So, but like as far as street cars go, that was really the first car to go, holy tunnels, you know?
Exactly, yeah.
So it did set a little bit of the standard and the tone there.
Yeah, I think we've done it a different way. What you can see on our car is you can see the complete volume, as we would say, of the car first of all, and then you see these tunnels being carved through it.
I want to find the full rear,
Yeah. That's the killer view, the rear view.
Yeah, the rear is like real crazy.
You get everything there. You get the stance, a car with a lot of muscle, the cabin hunkered down between the wheels, and then you get the exit vents from the tunnels.
Yeah, you can really see clear on through this. So how much downforce does this produce? Do we know yet?
Yeah, we know, but we're not declaring yet.
I mean, it must be a pretty absurd amount, right?
It's. I've worked on a lot of cars, and I know what comes in with some racing cars, and it's seemingly quite shockingly high. But we're being reserved at the moment because we're only just starting to run real prototypes. So we've done a huge amount of CFD and analysis work generally. But until we run real vehicles, we want to be a bit cautious. We don't want to overpromise and under-deliver. But I think we've got so much margin on the car. I think it's going to be quite exciting.
The first company that actually does the drive upside down thing to demonstrate that. I'm telling you, the first one to do it wins. Been hearing that shit since I was a kid.